Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elevation Niche. I'm Desmond O'Neill, again here from O'Neill Photography with another tutorial for you. This one is going to be very easy right after this. Okay, welcome back. And yes, this is Desmond O'Neill from O'Neill Photography, and I want to welcome each and every one of you to my channel. Today, we have a very simple tutorial for you, and this is more geared towards the newbies or those who just started in photography, and maybe you went to the camera and everything looked fine, but when you put it onto your computer and you are about to do your editing, you recognize that your photo was just a little bit underexposed. What do I mean by underexposed? It means then that instead of being the exact exposure, which would have been zero, it's underexposed, which means that it's less than, which also means that your photo is going to be on the darker side of things. All right, so there's a photo that I have that we are going to use as our template. Let me go to pictures here. It's very nice when you put everything together. I have my raw photos for editing, and there is one that I have right here that we are going to use. So I am just going to open that up in raw therapy, and we're gonna just have a look at what it looks like. Okay, let's extend this a little bit so you're gonna have an idea. Great. So we have this photograph here. On the onset, it doesn't look too bad, but I find it's just a little bit on the darker side of things. All right, so we're gonna send this over to Gimp, and that is where we are going to be doing all of our photo editing in this tutorial. All right, so Gimp is a free software. It's available for Mac, it's available for Windows, it's available for Linux. If you have a Linux system like I do, that is what I'm using. And yeah, it's available absolutely free, and I am showing you how powerful this free software is. Absolutely free software. It is powerful. It can be used for your photo editing, and you don't have to pay any money or do anything like that. Okay, so here we are. We have imported the photo into Gimp, and this is what we are looking at here. By pressing plus on my keyboard, I can enlarge it a bit, and here you can see that the photo in itself, or the image in itself, it is not too bad. It has pinpoint sharpness. You can actually see some fuzz here in the little cowl that the male model has on here. You can see some. You can see all of the texture in it. If you did not dial in the proper exposure setting as well, that can also happen. But fear not, once you have taken the photo in RAW, and I will admonish all of our budding photographers to take your photo in the RAW format, because all of the editing that you need to do, it's everything is going to be in there, believe it or not. All right, so we are going to be working on this photo. So I'm just going to back up a little bit by pressing minus on the keyboard so you can have a better look at the subject matter. Great. So I am going to duplicate this photo here. I'm going to just right click on it, and I am going to go up to duplicate layer. All right, so I am going to be using, as I have said on all of my previous tutorials, that we are going to be using non-destructive photo editing. Now, in order to bring this to the right exposure, first of all, we need to ask ourselves, what is the right exposure? For me, this again is going to be to taste. If your aim is to have a dark, mysterious look, like for a magazine cover, then this might just be exactly what you are looking for. If you are looking to create a portfolio, on the other hand, as a model, all right, and you are the photographer, maybe you want to highlight the individual's face a little bit more, then certainly this will be a little bit underexposed. So let's go and see how we are going to fix that. So firstly, we are going to go up to colors, and there are a number of ways in which you can fix the issue. One is to go to, we can go to white balance. We can do a auto white balance. All right, but I'm not going to do that. We did that the other day. You can go straight to exposure and click the exposure tab. Right, so in the exposure tab, you will notice that there's a black level and then there is exposure. Let's click here. I'm left click and I'm going to just drag up a little bit. All right, and then you see that there has been a change. I'm going to click OK. And let's look at the change in the values. Here it's a little darker. All right, and here it's a little bit lighter. Great. So let's go to colors again, and we go to exposure, and I can adjust the slider up a little bit more. There we go. Click OK. And remember, I talked about increments the last time. So that is what we are looking at. Great. And this is a very, very easy way. Now you can see that there is a marked difference. Let's click minus. So you're going to see more of the image here. There's going to be a marked difference between our original photo here and our final image here. So that is just one way in which you can put the correct exposure value to your image, and of course it's going to be to taste. All right, it's going to be to taste. The next way in which we are going to adjust the brightness or the exposure. So I'm going to minus this layer. I'm going to delete this layer here. Right, and so we are back with the original layer. I'm going to duplicate that again by clicking here. All right, and I'm going to show you another way in which we can adjust the exposure values. So let's go back to colors again. And this time we are going to be using the levels tab. So you come down to levels and you click that. Great. And if you notice, the histogram is showing that it's more or less all the way to the left. And this slider here is all the way to the left. All right. And so it shows that the image in itself is going to be more on the darker side. So we want to adjust that. If you would look at the right side here, there's a little tab. You can click that. I'm gonna adjust that a little bit. Okay, I'm going to click this tab here. I'm going to push it a little bit to the left. Wonderful. And as you notice, we have pushed that tab a little bit on the way to the left, and it looks way, way different, way, way better. And let's see before. And let's look at after. As you can see, the model's face is more pronounced, all right, and all of that. The cowl that he has here remains very much sharply in focus, all right. But notice that all of the background as well has lit up. His skin color, if you notice, has changed a little bit. All right, and this is another way that you can add the correct exposure to your image. Then yet there is still one other way. So I'm going to click OK here, and I am going to delete this layer. Delete layer. Right, and we are back with our original image, and as you can see, our eyes have adjusted to the lighter image, so now it looks even more darker. even more dark. I think that's the correct English. And I'm going to duplicate that again. And we're going to use one more tab. And of course, there are the Gimp officials that might show you a whole lot of other ways in which you can uh, adjust the exposure to your image. But we're going to look at one more, which is using the curves, which is my favorite one to use. Great. Now the curve slider is very intuitive. It is a little bit different. I use it mostly when I'm doing astrophotography adjustments. All right, and but it can be used for your regular photo adjustments as well. Now, if you click to the top and you raise it up a little bit, right, you will see that it has already created some light. It created a better exposure, and I can push this on this right side up just a little bit more, giving us more, and I can push it up a little bit more again. I can come down here and push this end up a little bit. All right, and as you notice that each side of the, or each part of this sort of graph will give you a different sort of look. This end here is more the darker end, and I can push that up, or I can pull it down a little bit. Right, not too much. But this curve, you have to be very. It's used for more or less certain sections. So you can. This is the dark area here, as you can see on the outside, and this is the lighter area here, and I am adjusting more on this side again. There we go. I'm gonna click OK. Great, and this is what we look like. And if we look at before, it's really dark, and let's look at after. Right, now the skin color, as you can see, as I said, it depends on what you are going for. If you are going for a mysterious look, you want the character to more have a dark, ominous facial features, and you highlight the body features with his muscles and all of that, you can do that. And it's all to taste. It's all depending on what you're looking for. Maybe the guy is a mixed martial arts guy. Maybe he's a new actor in a movie, and you're creating a magazine cover, or maybe you're advertising a supplement, or maybe you're advertising shades, or something like that. It all depends on what you want. And using the various adjustment methods here, you can adjust your photo in the way to your taste as you would like. All right, so just to briefly recap, we go to the colors tab, and you can go to exposure, where you can adjust universally the exposure by adjusting to the right or to the left, according to maybe it might be. But if you want to increase or have more light, you should slide to the right in increments. Right, that was the first thing that we use. The second thing that we use is the levels tab, and by pushing this middle slider here, you slide it all the way to the left. You can adjust the exposure to your image. All right, and that is one way. You can also push this slider to the right, and it will, of course, it'll get darker. Right, so yeah, so that's the second one. And of course, the third one that we use, going back to colors again, is the curves tab, where we can click anywhere along the line, but mainly on the right hand side, and by pushing it up, you can add some exposure to your image. All right, so those are the three basic ways in which you can add exposure to an underexposed image in Gimp. It is super easy. Anyone can do it. Your little kids can do it. You can do it, and you can have no despair. Do not worry about the fact that your image came out a bit underexposed. You can fix it in post, right? You can edit it in post. All right, so this is Desmond O'Neill here from O'Neill Photography, and I am thanking you all. If you found that this video was of great value to you, please like and subscribe, give a thumbs up, and I would like to hear the different ways in which you add exposures to your underexposed image in Gimp. Let me know in the comment section and we can have a discussion. All right, so until we meet again, everybody have a blessed day and take care.